Okay, sorry about that, guys. My phone got a little bit wonky. So here we are, I'm back. Yay! Good morning. Happy to see you all. Give everybody a couple minutes to get here. Hello, Heather. Sorry about having to start over again. I was having technical difficulties. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to get on. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I can see any comments. Hey, Erin. Hey, Michelle. Welcome. Uno momento. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. Perfect. Yay. Okay, so I've got the comments up on my screen. I've got my coffee here because, you know, it's 11 o'clock and I don't believe that you need to stop drinking coffee until after noon. And that's not even totally accurate because I still drink coffee in the afternoon sometimes. But whatevs, that's neither here nor there. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've had an amazing weekend. Mine has been interesting. It's been busy. I've had the worst insomnia this last week. It's probably because it's hot. Oh, cool, Erin. That's awesome. Congratulations. All right. Just going to do a little bit more smudging. I did that earlier, but I'm going to do it again because why the hell not? It's like, you know, not like you can get too much smudging. I mean, I guess you could, but whatever. Awesome. That's funny. Okay, all right, all right, all right. It's my, I should have said that in my Matthew McConaughey voice. All right, all right, all right. Okay, I'm super excited to have you all here. Thanks for being here. So I wanted to do this video first of all because I feel freaking amazing. Just overall, in general, I just feel awesome. But also because like I started this channel, I started doing these readings at toward the, I guess it was like March-ish. And in that time, I've had over 100,000 views, tons of new subscribers. It's like just, it's crazy. It's been exponential growth. I'm loving, loving, loving this. So I just wanted to do a celebration around that. I will probably more than likely hit the 1,500 subscriber mark definitely this week. And that's awesome because I've also lost some subscribers, which is cool because, you know, not everybody's cup of tea. Everybody resonates differently with different readers, and you just have to go with where you feel at home, and that's totally fine. I don't take it personal. If somebody unsubscribes, I totally get it. There are some readers that I resonated with for a long time and no longer resonate with, and that's totally fine. That's just life, just how it goes. There's a meme that goes around that says, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm like, or everybody's shot of tequila, and that's definitely more along my lines. I have a different style. I use a lot of profanity, and a lot of people don't like that, which is totally fine. So I'm gonna start in, first of all, saying again, thank you for all of you that are here, for all of you that have liked, subscribed, shared, commented, etc. And also I wanted to let you know that I do have, I updated my description box, so you'll see a change in how to book readings. And so it makes it a lot easier. You can go in, you can pick a time, and the readings will be delivered within 72 hours of the time that you purchase or the time that you schedule. So if you schedule for Monday, The reading will be, actually, I don't have any time on Monday. I blocked my schedule off on Monday so I can just be with my family. So on Sunday and Monday, I don't do any private readings. On So if you book, you'll book Tuesday through Saturday, and then you'll get those readings within 72 hours. So yeah, that's that. So if you're interested in getting a private reading, that's how to do that. And all the talking aside, let's go right into the reading. I'm on one today, guys, so just be prepared. And by on one, I mean I'm just like fired up. I'm not quite sure why, but I just feel amazing. I feel great. All right, overall, with the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine Reunited by Christabel Jessica, we're going to start with the Divine Masculine. Anubis, God of Protection. I freaking love it. Let me scooch this down a little bit. I told you guys, scooch is a very technical term. Oh yeah. Bound chicka wow wow. Sekhmet, Goddess of Rage. Hell yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start with that and then I'll jump into the other. So the God of Protection, let's just dig into that. The God of Protection is about the idea that the masculine energy has protecting the divine feminine. It's, we're not, let's just be real. Like, feminines are fucking fierce, okay? Oops, I should have warned you guys that I would probably cuss in this reading, but whatever. If you're watching this, you probably know that about me. But feminines are fierce. I was talking with a girlfriend last night. She is freaking amazing. She has her own channel. I'll post a link to that below. She does amazing channeling. She actually channeled a message for me last night, and it just was so spot on. But we were talking about this idea of, that feminines are just so fierce. Feminines are the ones that you think about it. It's like, have you ever heard a story of a mom who like gets into a car accident, her child gets stuck, and she like pulls this, strength out of nowhere and moves the car off her child? That is the feminine. The feminine is fierce. There's a reason why it's called a mama bear. There's a saying, the most dangerous place to be in the world is between a mother and her child. The feminine is fierce, okay? So it's not like we're these like damsels in distress that need protection, but we do need protection in that sense. We need masculines who are going to protect us, who aren't going to abuse us or harm us or cause us any pain. And so the masculine is in a space where they are recognizing all the ways in which they haven't protected the feminine in the past, and recognizing the need to step up into that protective energy. So because of patriarchy, because of misogyny, because of all of the things that have happened in our social and cultural world, there is a lot of masculines who have, kind of been, sleeping on the job and haven't protected feminines. That's why the sexual abuse is so rampant. That's why sexual violence is such a big thing. It's because masculines have not stepped into their full masculine power, into that protective role, into that space of recognizing that they do have the job, the responsibility of protecting the feminine. And so there's this sense of regret and remorse that they haven't done that. And there's also this energy of really wanting to step into that protective role. It's the quote that my friend and I came up with last night, I came up with the first half and she came up with the second when we were talking about this. Hey, Miriam, is in order to nurture, you must protect. That's the feminine. In order to protect, you must nurture. So the masculine has kind of, like I said, been asleep on the job, and they feel some regret for that. So they're wanting to come forward to the feminine with more of that protective energy, which this regret of, I'm sorry for the ways in which I haven't protected you, and wanting to do better. They're stepping out of this fear energy and moving into more of their masculine power. It is definitely, there's a lot of masculines who are carrying some guilt and some shame around the fact that they haven't been protective, that they haven't done their job. They know they've been asleep on the job with that. And so there is some guilt and some shame around that. But they're moving into higher levels of learning how to stand in that protective energy without being abusive. So it's definitely a balance that they're learning to walk. So where the feminine is, and this is one of my favorite cards. I've been talking about her a lot lately. She's come up quite a bit, and she's Sekhmet, the goddess of rage. She's, I believe, an African or an Egyptian goddess who is you've probably seen statues and artwork of her before, but she has the head of a lion, and she is the goddess of rage. Now this we're not talking about this uncontrolled, just raging for the sake of raging. We're talking about divine. Oh, that's funny. You always refer to your DM as a lion. That's awesome. So the divine rage. It's righteous indignation. It's when shit is wrong, you should be enraged about it, right? It's like when you see injustice in the world, when you see, for instance, like what's happening right now in the United States with immigration and kids being taken apart from their parents and put into cages and all of this shit that's going down. We should be enraged. We should feel rage about that. So we have, as feminines, have been taught, this whole notion that we get socially and culturally around, the idea of, what is that old poem from kids that, girls are made of sugar and spice and everything nice. And it's like, well, yeah, we are. Feminines are, sugar and spice, and we're sweet and we're nurturing and all of that. And we are divine feminines, so there is an aspect of rage, and feminines are stepping more into the comfort of being in that rage space, that they're like, you know what, I will burn the whole freaking place down before I will allow this to happen. The feminines are stepping into that, becoming more comfortable with that, and letting themselves feel the rage. Like if your divine masculine has not been rising up for you, hasn't been being what the protector that you need, hasn't been showing up for you, well, there is going to be a certain level of rage that comes with that, because it's like on a spiritual level, we're like, what the F, man? Like, why are you not stepping up and being the person that you need, that that the world needs you to be, not even just what we need as feminines, but that the world needs, right? So there's definitely feminines rising into this rage, and it's definitely not only about the connection with the masculine. We have to keep in mind that this connection it's bigger than just us. I know a lot of people struggle with understanding that, but this connection is literally bigger than us. It's bigger than our getting our needs met. It's bigger than this amazing sexual connection that we have. It's bigger than that. It's about transcending paradigms, shifting paradigms, bringing in a new way of loving and a new way of being. And so we have to recognize that is part of what's happening. So it's definitely the feminines are rising into that rage space. So if you're feeling that sense of, injustice, when you see injustice happening and you feel enraged, that's totally appropriate. That is the feminine energy. That's part of the feminine that has been suppressed and that we need to allow to come forward. So the shadow side of this connection right now is miscommunication. If you look at this card, it's like he sees a 9, she sees a 6, and the number down here, like neither one of them are incorrect. They're both right. They're just seeing it differently. And so if you're feeling like you're at a crossroads or miscommunicating with your masculine or with your counterpart, that's why. It's just a shadow energy that you need to move through right now. Learning that there are more than one ways to be right. There's a song, I don't remember what it is, but it's like, just because I'm right doesn't mean that you're wrong. And that's what we have to understand, is that sometimes we can both be right. I was having dinner with a friend the other night, and we had this conversation about something social and political, and we were talking, and I said, we're both correct in this sense. Like we're both, you're not right, I'm not wrong, and vice versa. We're both correct. We just have to find the middle ground and see how we can work this energy together. And they were like, I totally agree. And so we have to understand that sometimes that we think miscommunication, we take it very personally, we take it in, you feel some kind of way about it, and that's not the energy that we want to be in. We definitely want to be more in this space of understanding that there are, what is that, more than one way to, I don't know, more than one way to, anyway, I don't know what it is, but we have to understand that that sometimes miscommunication happens, we have to take responsibility for our role in miscommunication. If you're not saying things properly, if you're not articulating your feelings clearly, understand that that's part of our own growth, is doing that. But it's also about recognizing that sometimes it's just a miscommunication, and it doesn't necessarily mean that one person's right and one person's wrong. But also, the light side of this connection is openness. This is people opening up to the fact that maybe things, maybe we've been judging each other pretty harshly on things that around, for instance, like miscommunication, or feeling unprotected, or feeling like things haven't been going the way that we want them to go. And so we've been feeling a little bit closed off and feeling a little bit isolated. And what's happening right now is a sense of openness, where it's like, if your counterpart has been wilding out and acting crazy, and you're like, I have no idea what this person is doing, and they're being a total, we'll just say lower level energy, that understanding, getting into that space of compassion, which came up in the reading yesterday, and having an openness to this connection, to having an openness to the process and to whatever it is that's happening, without necessarily feeling the need to judge it very harshly and make it something other than what it is. So give me 1 second. I'm listening to Native American flute radio, but it's just not resonating right now. I feel like I need to put something else on. So I hope that part resonates. This is the overall energy of what's happening this week. So if you feel yourself feeling that rage energy, just be with it, okay? It's not a big deal. If you feel yourself working through this, if you're a divine masculine watching, and you feel yourself rising up into the protective energy and wanting to protect your feminine, wanting to protect the vulnerable in the world, and also feeling some guilt and shame around it, that's totally normal. It's totally what you're supposed to be doing right now. Coffee. Okay. I'm going to scooch these aside. Again, very technical term, scooch. So I'm going to use a John Holland Psychic Tarot of the Heart right now. And hello to those of you who I haven't said hi to. Welcome to the live reading. Oh, and I forgot to mention earlier, if you want me to pull a card for you, if we have time at the end, I will do that. Those of you that make an energy exchange donation will get priority. So if you have made an exchange donation to get a card pull, please comment so I know. And I'll do that at the end after the reading. Okay, so the song that just came up is White Flag by Dido. So if you've been feeling like you are on the brink of giving up, just keep in mind, like this song, I believe that sometimes the spirit and our divine speak to us in song. And the song says, I won't be giving up, basically. And I won't put my hands up and surrender. Okay, Spirit, so what lessons, what energies can we expect to be present this week? Open up. Okay, so people are letting themselves out of this vault of the heart. Okay, so if you've been closed off, if your masculine has been closed off, then expect that to be something that's you're working through this week. Let's see. Okay, so we've got Aaron, we've got Alicia, is it Alicia or Alicia, and Dragonfly. Hey, Dragonfly. Oh, wow. Awesome. Yeah, let me know if you've made the energy exchange donation so I can put you on the top of the list, okay? So expect things to open up. Expect energies, even if it's not physical communication, expect that the connection will open up. This card is the one that I've said before is like the vault of the heart, okay? It's like the somebody has like shut their heart into a vault and it's just been stuck there, and It will be there, you know, until somebody goes in and opens it up, if that makes sense. Give me 1 second. I want to write down. So Sharon and Miriam, let me go ahead and write your names down. And Aaron and Alicia. Okay, sorry, I'm just want to make sure I don't lose anybody in this, because it can definitely get a little bit wild. So this card, going back to the reading, so if you're watching and you do want a card pull, if you wouldn't mind just holding off on that until I say, until toward the end, and then I'll get your names then, if that's okay, because I want to make sure that I stay focused on what we're doing here. So thank you. Okay, so this is about opening up. This someone who has been really, really shut down. Somebody who is like, as C.S. Lewis says, put their heart in a coffin, and it's just been in there kind of losing oxygen and not getting any air. And so now this energy is coming through this week of opening up. So it's like if somebody has like retreated, if somebody has not allowed themselves to feel, they're going to be feeling more this week. Okay, so this is someone who is moving into, you know, the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So what I'm getting from this is that there will be some people who will be crossing paths with others. So it could be you, the watcher. It could be your divine counterpart that is going to cross paths with somebody who's going to start opening them up to this higher spiritual knowledge. It's going to be a mentor. It's going to be a coach, a therapist, somebody that's they may even stumble across like YouTube videos or an article that they weren't expecting that's gonna really open them up to understanding more and more about what's going on, the spiritual purpose of these types of connections. They're gonna start learning in order that they can become eventually the teacher. So this is, I really feel like this is the beginning. So there's gonna definitely be some people, and I really feel it's connected to this opening up energy. If you're closed off to spiritual things, if you're like, oh, that's bullshit, I don't believe any of that, you're not going to be open to learning about it. So this opening up process is like going to help them to be able to be receptive, to be able to learn, so that they can eventually move into that teacher role. And look at this week, a new beginning in love. I love it. So even if you're in separation and no communication, whatever is going on, I feel like this week is going to really bring this resurgence of that pure unconditional love, where you release some of the lower level energies, where it feels like you're where maybe you haven't been feeling so wonderful and you haven't been feeling so positive towards your counterpart. Well, there's going to be a resurgence of love. It's going to be that coming back to the love, the purity of the love, letting go of the judgments, releasing all of that stuff, really coming to that space of compassion, understanding, and just pure unconditional love. I freaking love that. Love is a beautiful energy. So where is the divine feminine this week? Divine feminines, y'all are feeling alone. Some of you. Again, this won't resonate with everybody. Base chakra. Because I'm all about that base, And manifest, the magician. So the feminine is feeling alone right now. The feminine is feeling like being on this, that they've been on this journey and they're feeling alone. They feel kind of, if you look at this, some of you may be feeling abandoned. You might be feeling isolated, feeling like you're kind of doing this on your own, and you're feeling like, what the hell's going on? But that is happening so that you can resolve any blocks in your base chakra that are going to help you feel safe in the world. So what I'm getting is that some of you have been kind of waiting for the masculine to show up like a knight in shining armor. Okay. There are some of you, that's one of my favorite books, by the way. If you've never read it, it's by Jude Devereaux. It's called A Knight in Shining Armor. I read it when I was in high school. I was like in the car with I was a bookworm. I'm still a bookworm, but I was like, I would take a book with me everywhere, which I pretty much do now too. But anyway, I read that book. I went to the mall with my aunt, and she was like we got to the mall and I was writing the last chapter. So I ended up staying in the car and reading it instead of going into the mall. Like, that's what a total nerd I was. Everybody else is like shopping and going to the food court, and I'm like, I'm going to read. But I read this book, and it's really an amazing story about this twin flame, soulmate, divine love connection that spans lifetimes. And so if you haven't read it, seriously put that on your summer reading list. It will really help you and inspire you. But that was when I first, I was probably 15 at the time, maybe 14, and that was the first time that I came across this concept of love that transcends time, and it was really transformative. It really informed my perspective of life. So anywho, feminines are waiting for this knight in shining armor. A lot of you have been waiting for your masculine to come and rescue you, and that's why you're feeling alone, you're feeling abandoned, you're feeling isolated. But what you have to understand is that we're never separated, we're never alone. And B, you can't wait for someone else to rescue you. You've got to be your own hero, your own shero. And in order to do that, and doing that, so getting out of that energy of feeling alone and recognizing that you've not been abandoned, that you've not been, that all of those separation is an illusion, so on and so forth, it will help you step into your mission, into your own power, and be able to create this sense of safety in the world. So it's like, focus on on stacking your paper, get your money right, pay off any debt that you have, start creating the life that you want to live independent of your masculine, step into your mission. It feels like right now is a really important time for people to step into mission. If you've been feeling prompted to do something, shift careers, go back to college, whatever that might be, start looking toward that, okay? Because right now you have the Midas touch. You can manifest whatever the hell it is that you think about. So like this morning, I was looking at passports, and I put on my list for this month to fill out the paperwork and get passports for me and my kiddos so we can start traveling internationally. And because I put it on paper, because I'm visioning and I'm seeing it, I know it's going to happen. And so what I'm saying to you right now is that you have the power to manifest what it is that you want. So if you've been feeling prompted to step into mission, if you've been feeling prompted to do something else, really focus your energy on that. And it will help you to move through these feelings of isolation, move through these feelings of feeling alone, so that you can begin to create that sense of safety in the world, so that when your masculine does come back, if you're meant to come into union, that you're already good on your own, that you're good and you're like, I'm stable, I don't need you to save me, I don't need you to rescue me, I'm safe in my own world, and I know that I have the power to create what it is that I want to create. So let's see. Lydia, your partner isn't feeling the connection, but he's okay. He feels your connection, but he doesn't believe it. Hey, Lydia, thank you so much. A lot of them fight it, Lydia. That's part of it. Is a lot of them fight this connection because it feels so crazy, right? Crazy is pejorative. I need to stop saying that. It feels wild. It feels like it's intense, and it makes you really question everything. Yeah, good, Lydia. Good luck to him. I wouldn't want to take on the divine. Me either. Me freaking either. There's definitely, I'll just say this really quickly, is that I definitely have gotten the energy in probably about the last month or so, that a lot of people who are on this journey, who have been resisting it and rejecting it, have been given opportunities to get it together. But Spirit's not going to wait forever. Spirit's going to be like, okay, like either you do it the easy way or the hard way. And a lot of them are going to end up learning the hard way. So where's the masculine this week? Four of Cups, opportunity beckons. So what this card is saying to me, if you look at this guy, he's like looking over the rail. He's got his back turned to the thing. So what I'm getting from this is that the masculine has definitely recognize that this is an opportunity, but he's turned his back to it, probably because of like what you're saying. Like a couple of you have commented now, Dragonfly, I just see your comment, that and Lydia, that they're resisting it, that they're fighting it, and so they've turned their back to this opportunity. But there's a lot of regret. If you look at that, it's not like they're it's not like they've put on their walking boots and they're walking away confidently. There's definitely some regret and some remorse and some uncertainty about this. So this is the energy for this card that's coming through, and this is actually the first time I've ever read this card this way, because I'm an intuitive reader. I don't necessarily read things specifically as they're like described in the book. I read what energy is coming through, is that a lot of the masculines have turned away and they're feeling some remorse about that. And there's a lot of emotions, man. The masculines are all in their feels this week. They're like that song, they're not afraid to catch feelings this week. Daydreams and decisions. And win or lose. So what I'm getting from this, it's very interesting, is that they've turned their back to this connection, but they're still daydreaming and fantasizing about it, and knowing that they need to make a decision. They need to make the decision to do something. They can't just like stand there on the rail and look over for the rest of their freaking lives. They have to do something. But right now they're seeing this as this zero-sum game. This is like, for someone to win, someone has to lose. So this is what I'm getting, is that they feel like, depending on their situation, if they are in a karmic situation, that they feel like, well, if I go toward this, divine feminine or divine feminine, then this person loses, and if I do this, then this person loses. And so they're seeing it as this zero-sum game, that someone's going to win, someone's going to lose, and it's because they're putting so much pressure on themselves around that, it's causing them to feel stuck and to feel stagnant. Dragonfly, if you want to hold your questions for at the end, that would be awesome. AD, your DM is definitely fighting it too. He confessed his feelings and fears, but still on dating sites and trying to keep his mask on. Of course they are. Of course they are. That doesn't surprise me at all. But there are definitely a lot of feelings this week. A lot of emotions cards came up. So what are the Divine Feminine's fears? Finding balance. Sacral chakra. And throat chakra. So you asked the question, can someone lose as in a third party? No, because think about it. If they're in a karmic situation, like, that's not a good energy anyway. It's not a positive. It's like karmic situations tend to be pretty conflictual and pretty lower level energy because you're working out karma. So if they lose, move away from the karmic situation, that's, everybody wins, because the karmic gets to move into their, into a healthier connection where they may feel, maybe they'll move into a soulmate or their divine love. And then the divine that's in a karmic situation gets to move to their, divine love. So I don't believe that that's a losing situation. I feel like people, if you take the experience, you grow from it, that it's actually really a gift. So no, I don't feel like that's something that you can lose. I think that that's an illusion. So the feminine spheres are finding balance. So what this says to me, the energy that just came through is this kind of, almost codependent energy, where it's almost like the feminine is afraid to find balance and find wholeness on her own, without the divine masculine, because then it feels like, well, if I can find balance and wholeness on my own, like, what do I need my masculine for? And the reality is that you don't need your masculine. I know a lot of people struggle with that, but you don't need your masculine, because remember, you're one together, you're one in spirit. So if you are still in an energy where you feel like you need them to come forward for you to step into mission, or to be happy or to be fulfilled, then you definitely, move out of that energy of neediness. Okay, so it's about finding balance within. Some of you are afraid of the sacral chakra, which is interesting. Some of you are afraid of letting yourselves just kind of surrender to this like wild primal sexual energy that you feel, because it feels out of freaking control, right? It feels like when your sacral chakra is aligned and you're fired up and you're like all in this state of like everything is orgasmic and it's all bliss and it's all that, it feels a little bit out of control. Again, going back to this social and cultural conditioning that we experience that tells us that good girls don't do X, Y, and Z, like good girls don't have sex, good girls don't, the Madonna whore complex that we deal with. And so there is definitely some fear around sexuality and sexual expression. So feminines, you really work through that, okay? Work through that energy. And then this throat chakra card, the feminine is fearing speaking her truth. That is there's two energies that are coming through at the same time. Spirit, can you slow it down just a little bit? Thank you. I feel like you guys' energy right now, I wish you could feel it in my house. It's like, it's just like messages are just flowing. But the feminine is feeling, first of all, the throat chakra blockage, fearful of speaking their truth. So if you're holding back on speaking some truth, it could go back to that rage card that came up. It could go back to just owning your own truth, owning your own path. There's some fear around that. There's also some fear around not getting communication or not receiving communication. There's some fear around, will he ever come back? Will she ever come back? Will we ever be in union? Will we ever communicate? And so there's some fear around that. Really work on releasing those two blocks in your sacral area. One of the things you can do is tap on the chakra. So just kind of like this, go through each chakra, through the crown, through the root, and tap on them, 10 to 15 times, and that'll help loosen some of the energy. Massaging your throat will actually help loosen that energy as well. So let me look at the comments. Yeah, a lot of people feel that if you let go, that fear around that is totally common fear. Here, yes, this is a live reading. What I've asked is for people to hold off on the questions until the end. I will open it up then. For those of you that want to have a question answered, if you make an energy exchange donation, I'll put you at the top of the list, and that will definitely guarantee your question gets answered. Otherwise, depending on time, we may not be able to get to it. So just an FYI. So what are the masculine spheres? Heart chakra. It's funny because there was a lot of emotions, but they're fearful of opening up their heart chakra. They're fearful of changing their focus. That's interesting. And they're afraid to let themselves shine. They are so interesting. So they really are afraid of opening their hearts. It's like they're afraid that what I'm getting is almost this energy of they fear like if they open their hearts that it's going to completely overtake them, that it's unfamiliar because they've been shut off for so long. Remember, we pulled this card. They've been shut off for so long. Their heart has been on lockdown, like a prison and riot, and so they are afraid of opening their heart. They're afraid to let themselves open up and feel. It almost feels like a Pandora's box kind of energy that they're fearing, like, oh my gosh, if I do this, then it's going to make I'm going to be overwhelmed. It's going to be too much to handle. It's, all of that stuff. So they're afraid to change their focus. They're afraid to look at things differently. They're afraid to really examine the situation from a different angle. They're afraid that if they change, basically what they're afraid of is, again, that Pandora's box. Well, if I look at this differently and I let myself see this through the spiritual eyes, through the higher divine wisdom eyes, then it's definitely going to cause me to have to change my perspective of everything. Then I'm going to have to look at things like, well, what haven't I been honest with myself about? What haven't I been doing? What do I need to refocus on? So there's a lot of fear around that. And they're afraid to let themselves shine. They're afraid to let themselves be fully happy because they're afraid of losing it. So it's that sense of if I fully let myself go into this situation, then I feel this depth of happiness, this love, this bliss, this joy. They're terrified of losing it. So it's almost like they would rather stay in a situation that is like, kind of below average or average. It's not hard. I mean, it's not great. It's not terrible. It's status quo, but at least it's comfortable, right? They know that they're not any great risk. Whereas if you let yourself feel the longing and the desire, then you acknowledge the pain that you may not have it. I was watching Frankie and Grace last night when I couldn't sleep. And there's a scene where they're talking about making a wish, and one of them is like, I don't make wishes. I haven't made wishes for a long time. And the conversation was essentially like, well, it's easier not to make a wish and not feel the disappointment of it not coming true. And that's where the masculine is. They're afraid to let themselves really feel what it is that they want, because if they acknowledge what they want, then they risk that it won't happen and that it won't come true. And that is something that terrifies the shit out of them. So let me move these aside. I want to make sure you have a good view of everything. So what are the expectations of the feminine? The feminine does expect them expect to take the lead. So a lot of you are going to be guided to take the lead and to come more into that masculine energy, that this is the divine masculine. So you're going to, a lot of you are going to expect to tap into your own divine masculine and be your own knight in shining armor and create your own happiness and your own bliss independent of the masculine. It doesn't mean that you don't want him to come back. It just means that you're going to take your life into your own hands. The feminine is expecting some seeking. So this is going to be going within, again, looking at things from a different perspective and being able to seek higher wisdom and to seek deeper knowledge. The feminine is also expecting that somebody is going to reach out. Somebody is going to reach out, make a connection. This can be in the physical. So some of you will hear from your counterparts. Some of you will hear from your counterparts telepathically. So if you're feeling a lot of anxiety, if you're feeling a lot of, if you're feeling stuff and you're like, is this mine or is it not? It may not be yours. It may be your counterpart reaching out to you to share their energy. Hold on one second. Let me look at this. Chrissy, if you could save your questions toward the end, that would be awesome. I'll be happy to jump into that. Just hold it toward the end when I open it up, okay? Thank you. What are the masculine's expectations? Blossom. And they actually expect, this is the world, this is the world card in the traditional tarot. This is ending of cycle. They expect that things are going to blossom. They think that things are going to come, they're expecting things to come to an end, and they're expecting things to kind of come full circle. Oh, it's okay, Chrissy. No big deal at all. I just want to make sure that I get everybody's questions if I can. Lydia, I'm going to address your comment in just 1 second, okay? The masculine is expecting results. So right now they're awaiting results. Something is going on for them that they are waiting for the outcome. So they're kind of in a holding pattern. They're expecting that to come to an end probably this week. Ooh, the death card. They are expecting release. They know that something has to go. You guys, let me show you the mirroring in this, by the way. These are 2 major arcana and a material. These are 2 major arcana and a material. So you guys literally look at that perfect mirror. If you put them up, they're like exact opposites. So, anywho, it's awesome to see that. But there's definitely, the masculines are expecting that there's some release that has to happen. There is some shit that has to go, plain and simple. They recognize that on a spiritual level. We're talking, remember, these readings are about what's happening in the spiritual realm. It may not happen in the, necessarily in the physical realm, okay? Not yet. It happens first above, as above, so below. Okay, so what are the connective energies right now? Moving on. Joy and stability, and embrace. Oh, you know what? I was totally wrong on this one. This blossom card is not the world card. This is. My bad. But I'm going to keep the message the same because that's what came through. The blossom card is judgment. They expect they're expecting cycles to come to an end, but they're expecting truth and balance and whatnot as well. So going back, you cried last night. Oh, thank you for the donation. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Says you're feeling his energy and purge as well as my own. That could be what it is. Absolutely, you could definitely be feeling the energy purge. You can definitely be feeling what's going on with them. So the connective energy right now is this sense of moving on. And this is, again, I'm not getting for everybody. There are some of you who are going to move on from this connection. And when I say that, again, I say this repeatedly, so I apologize if I keep repeating myself, but I feel like the message needs to come through. That if you decide to move away from expecting or wanting to come together in this union with your twin flame, it doesn't mean that you're getting off the journey. You're a twin flame, period. You are going to continue. I mean, there are some of you that, maybe decide to completely walk away altogether. I don't see that for a lot of people. But even if you don't ever come into union with your twin flame, you're still on this journey, because this journey is about transcendence. It's about rising above. It's about shifting paradigms. So there's this energy of moving on, but it feels more of like moving on from this energy of codependence It feels like moving on from the energy of needing each other, of needing to come together. It's moving on from cycles that aren't working for you. The other connective energy that's present is joy and stability. So on a certain level, on a spiritual level, there is still joy and stability that's holding you two together. This is in the traditional tarot the Four of Wands, which a lot of readers interpret as a twin flame card. So just sit with that, put that in your pipe and smoke it. That's literally what's coming up, is that what's connecting you is the fact that you're freaking twin flames. End of story. Like, that's it. And also this world card, the world is like, this card to me is like the world is your oyster. Like, you can create anything you want. You're both stepping into this energy of really being able to manifest something bigger than you've even let yourself dare believe was possible. Recognizing that the world is at your feet and that the universe wants you to create and manifest all of your dreams. And all you have to do is step into your power to be able to do that. So let me look at your comments. Went on a date and he was in your mind when you got home. Yeah, that's definitely hard. If you're tired of focusing on the journey and want to get back to your own life, if it feels codependent to watch the videos, then I would suggest taking a break from it. There is nothing wrong with that. There's been periods of time where I've stepped away from watching twin flame videos and doing twin flame readings and just gone in and done other work. It's totally okay to do that. It's been 5 years of loneliness. Well, what I would say is that you've got to do some work around that, because being with your twin flame isn't going to make you any less lonely. That's an area that you have to work on, okay? What is balance? That's an interesting question. It's being whole within. It's being spiritually, mentally, socially, emotionally, physically, all in alignment. Flex, you're going to check in your twin this past week, but these shifts have been major. That's good. Well, if you give up, Truth, that's totally up to you. This is again, there's free will. Awake, you said this journey is only good for the readers. That's not actually true. I talked to a number of people who are on this journey, and I'm not saying it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy. There are challenges. There are hard times. But when you understand that the bigger picture and the higher purpose, it makes it a lot easier to navigate, okay? You want to think about, okay, if you try and detach, that he might give up too. Well, detachment is not the same as non-attachment. Detaching is more of like a cutting off. Non-attachment is about releasing without expectations. It's about, you've used that analogy before, like holding sand in your hand. It's about not grasping, not gripping, not expecting something. So loving someone with a non-attachment is very different than completely detaching. Good. AD, you've made plans with friends over the next couple of weeks. That's wonderful. I love that. Keep yourself busy. Keep your life occupied. I've said this before. You guys have probably heard me say it, but it's, a lot of people are like, talk about things like play hard to get. I'm like, don't play hard to get, be hard to get. Have a busy, fulfilling, happy life. Create your own happiness so that you're not feeling like you're sitting around waiting for someone to call or come through. You were lonely for several years too, and then you finally said, oh well, accepted, you die alone, and met twin flame a month later. That's usually how it goes, right? It's like once you get to that space of acceptance, it's like then suddenly the universe is like, perfect, now you're ready. Let's see, you asked for God for a sign. Well, if you ask for a sign and you got the sign, then you just have to stay in faith, right? I've told you guys about my pink flamingo situation, that I was like, okay, it's winter. There's not going to be any pink flamingos anywhere. So I asked the universe, like, if this is what I think it is, then please send me at least 3 pink flamingos in the next, I think it was within the next week. And I'm not kidding you. I got inundated with pink flamingos. I have a girlfriend that I told about that because I'm always a fan of sharing things with people that can believe with you. And I sent her all the pictures of the pink flamingos that were just flying out of everywhere. And it's funny because it seems like pink flamingos are in season this year. And so literally every time I go into the market, any store I go into, I see a pink flamingo. And I'm kind of like, ha ha, universe, very funny. Let's see. Your partner called out for a soulmate, and now he's afraid of a connection. Well, yeah, that's definitely, that happens a lot. How do you love and detach? Well, it's about letting, so the best thing that I can describe it is like with when you have children. Again, I'm not likening your twin flame connection to children, but a lot of us understand unconditional love because of children. It's like I have two children. I expect that, and I love them deeply, and I expect that they are eventually going to go their own way. I expect that they're going to make their own choices and they're going to live their own lives, and I love them no matter what. And so it's like having non-attachment is expecting that eventually they are going to grow up and get married and have their own lives, and that's fine. Like I want their happiness. And so it's about not enforcing your expectations and your needs on somebody else. You're lying in pink flamingo PJs right now. Okay. Let's see. Can you have two twin flames? No, you cannot. Um, okay. Alrighty, so I just jumped into questions and I'm going to move on from that. What is that connective energy? So moving into what is the romantic connective energy? I'm going to use the twin, not the twin flame, the romance angels card. Those questions that I was just answering were all general for the collective, which is why I answered them. Personal questions will be answered in a minute. And by minute, I mean whenever we're done with this part. Okay. What are the romantic connective energies? It is safe for you to love. Chemistry. And romantic feelings. And so look at what's connecting you to romantically is this idea, this notion that it is safe for you to love. So one or both of you has been resistant to love because you've been afraid of it, but what's connecting you romantically is this understanding that it is safe for you to love. That love is safe when it's right, when it's whole, when it's divine. It is safe. I just posted an Instagram thing earlier. It's a C.S. Lewis quote, and it's from the Chronicles of Narnia. And there's this a part where they're about to meet Aslan, who is, of course, the image of the divine. And they're like, one of the kids is like, "Is he safe?" And somebody says, "Safe? No, he's not safe, but he's good." And love is not safe. Love, bears you, breaks you down to the, and I don't mean breaks down in a bad way. It opens you up. It makes you vulnerable. It makes you tender. So it's safe, it doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel safe to be open and, have your heart exposed. That doesn't feel safe, but divine love is good and it will not harm you. It may trigger the shit out of you actually, but it's not going to harm you. So the next romantic connection is chemistry. You guys are like literally like this, magnetic attraction, like a moth to a flame, like white on rice, whatever, crazy analogy. No, sorry, I said crazy. I need to stop saying that. Whatever wild analogy you want to use. It's like y'all are just pulled to each other. You just cannot, as much as you try to resist, sometimes it doesn't happen. You just feel that pull. You feel what they feel. You sense what they sense. That's part of what's keeping this connection. And there's a ton of romantic feelings. Both of you are recognizing that your feelings are real and they're worth exploring. Let me move these aside and move into the headspace of the person who is not watching. So the counterpart of the watcher. Heart-to-heart conversations. They are, in their head, they want to have these heart-to-heart conversations. They want to open up and connect together, to have conversations with you, real heart-to-heart conversations. But this can also mean heart-to-heart conversations in your higher selves. So it's like you can be asleep and have heart-to-heart conversations. Okay, in their head, somebody is still wearing a false mask. Okay, so this is, to me, the non-watcher. So the one that if you're watching, this is about your counterpart, that they're still not being fully transparent. They're still putting out this illusion to the world. I don't necessarily feel, there could be some of you that they're actively lying and they're actively deceiving you. What I'm getting from this is this more of the false ego. And in their mind, it's like the separation. They're thinking about the separation. They're thinking about being apart from you. They are not liking it at all. They are not liking being apart from you. They miss the shit out of you. That's literally what just came through. In their heart space, attraction. So a couple of things, okay. What came through for this first is that I get the sense that even if you're not in communication, even if you're not, you know, you feel like you're not in, like you're completely in separation, I get the sense that they really are watching you, and that they find you. So if you're on social media and you're living your best life and you're doing things, you're like stacking your paper and you're out with your friends and you're really having fun, you're not doing it just so that, you know, to give it a false illusion, but you're really living your life and they can feel it energetically, then it actually is pulling them closer to you. I know a lot of you fear the separation. You fear like living your best life because you think it will make the connection go away, but it's actually the opposite of that. What actually happens is that the more that you live your best life, the more that you know, dance like nobody's watching or whatever, it actually magnetizes them to you, because codependent energy, needing them to come back, is repelling. In their heart space, again, finances and career. So they want to make sure that their finances and career are stable. They want to be stable, and they're thinking that that's really in their heart space, that they don't want to come to you with some half-assed offer like, yeah, come and live with me in my mom's basement. They don't want any of that kind of energy. They really want to come to you when they're ready to be able to be the divine that they know you deserve, and they're really working on that. In their heart, they want their love life to ascend to a higher level of commitment. They want this to go to new levels. They want this to be something more substantive and real. That's literally what they want. Okay, so I'm going to move this aside. I hope this reading is resonating for you. I'm going to look at the comments real quick. Oh, thank you. Oh, Erin, it's Dr. Lisa Vallejos is my Insta name. And there's also a link in the cover page, so you can find it there. Or there's a link in the About box too. You triggered each other the other day, and now you know where you pushed him away. He may have gotten triggered and pushed away, but that, you know, that happens. That's his stuff to work through. I think what's important to remember is that you know, with this kind of connection, you know, this is going to maybe sound a little bit wild, but you can't mess it up. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If you're meant to come together in this lifetime, you're going to work through your triggers and your shit and come back together. You keep seeing the deception card. Yeah, full combo of songs. Let's see. Well, if you don't have social media, definitely recognize that energetically they can feel too. That you can feel each other's energy. If you can feel their energy, trust they can feel yours. That's why it's so important to manage your energy and to make sure that you're not putting out negative vibes and saying things like, he's never going to get it together, or she's never going to come back. Because guess what? They can feel that. That's why it's important to learn to manage yourself and your own energies and maintain your own level of happiness. Mind you, it's not like I've always been this person that can just navigate through feelings this easily. It takes work. It takes practice. I mean, 10 years ago, I would have been a freaking disaster being in separation. I would have been like going, you know, nuts. Now I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever is meant to be will be. I'm more chill about it than I would have been 10 years ago. But that's because I've done the work. So do the work. Focus on you. Meditate. Take salt baths. Do whatever it is that you feel like led to do to make sure that you're in the right space. Okay. So, all right. I'm going to pull some message from Spirit. The moon. All right, cool. and the Gatherer in reverse. Okay, so I want to use the book for this one. The moon is, you know, you guys are familiar with the moon. The moon is all about, it says, the moon spends equal time in the dark as it does in the light of the sun, and now it comes to remind you of this balance. Balance again. Have you been too focused on outer achievements, productivity, or social engagements, or have you spent too much time hidden from the outer world, not wanting to interact or show your face? Meditate on the significance of the moon cycle and let it gently guide you out of your bottomless depths. Head back to the world of outer expression and connection with others. Let it help you make time for yourself, your feelings, and your essential human and spiritual needs. So those of you that have been in this space of loneliness and feeling disconnected, this is saying, like, come back to the land of the living, okay? Live your life. Do what feels right for you. And then the Gatherer in reverse, it says, do not wander too far afield in search for what Spirit has already provided. Practice paying it forward, being thankful in advance of receiving. If you are in a scarcity mindset, open your heart to look beyond current conditions, and you will find the bounty being offered to you. Practice sharing, not hoarding. So what this is saying to me is that for a lot of you that are struggling with feeling like, are they ever going to come back? What's going on? That suggests a scarcity or a lack mindset. And so really work on that. Recognize that love is abundant. You know, love is everywhere. It's not like a pie that if you take a slice and you give it to here, that there's less to give. Love is abundant. And so learn how to step into that space of feeling abundant and love no matter what's going on, and work on making it less and less about being attached to your counterpart, and make it more about being attached to Spirit and letting that love, that divine love, flow through you. Okay? So Mike, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you're gone, dude. Sorry about that, guys. I just blocked him, so you won't see any of that. But we're gonna just go ahead and, well, I'm gonna go ahead and smudge again because we don't need that kind of negativity in here. You guys, the positive thing is that what that means is that when someone comes in, when some kind of energy like that comes in and tries to disrupt the flow, it means that good shit is happening. So everybody, take a deep breath with me. Everybody take a deep breath. If you're watching and you saw those comments, I hid them, so they shouldn't be visible anymore. You know, what that says to me is that we're doing good work here. Okay. So, sending him love and light, and sending him on his way, because you know what? Unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional relationship. You don't get to bring that nonsense in this space. I'm gonna kick you right out. This is a sacred space. So everybody, yeah, I blocked him. He's gone. He can't come back. Let me make sure. Okay. Yep. Alrighty. Wait, let me make sure. I want to make sure that this is gone. All right, cool. That energy is gone. Whew. Thank goodness. All righty, so I'm going to jump into the personal reads right now. So I'm going to start with Sharon. Sharon, I'm going to pull for you around your situation. Oh wait, hold on. Before I do that, sorry, I got a little bit distracted with Mike. I want to do the I'm going to pull cards around the outcome for this week, like what we can expect for the outcome of this week. Spirit, the outcome for the collective for this week. Embrace, that card came up again. Y'all just heard me shuffling. Flow. And giving and receiving. Yes, I love this. You guys there's going to be definitely some balancing, giving and receiving. If your connection has been out of balance, you reaching out all the time, you doing all the work, vice versa, it's coming into, there's going to be some more balance, giving and receiving. Both or one or both parties are going to embrace this connection in a deeper way, and it's going to be in this state of flow. This is the Wheel of Fortune in the traditional tarot, which suggests that there will definitely be some cycles that will be coming to an end. So I'm grateful for that. But people will be going with the flow. This to me is again like that free fall into the arms of the universe and going within. So perfect. I love it. This is going to be, I feel like this is going to be a really positive week. So let's go into the private. So Sharon, back to you. Spirit, some insight into what's going on with Sharon's connection, please. Release. You're in a time of transformation and you got to let some stuff go. Teaching. Oh my gosh, you guys, this energy just came up again. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Like I literally just, you guys heard me shuffling. You know I'm not making this shit up. You're in a state of release. This connection is transforming. Something is coming to an end, so something new will come forward. It's about you or he or she, whoever your counterpart is, are definitely going to be stepping into a space of deep learning in order that you can step into that teaching energy. Okay, you're rising up. This is what I'm getting. You're ascending moving into mission, moving into doing what it is that you are sent here on this earth to do, and you're in this. You'll be in this state of flow. Of just allowing things to happen, allowing cycles to come to an end, allowing things to transform in a non-attached way. That is going to be your work this week, and that's going to be a very beautiful, it's going to be a very beautiful energy. That's what I'm getting for you, is that transformation, the release is not easy, but it's definitely worthwhile. But I feel like because of the flow card and the energy that's showing up for you is that, yes, it will be challenging, but it's going to be better for you. It's not going to be like I don't see you like lying in bed depressed. I see you just kind of being in a state of grace and flow. And this message from your divine counterpart: forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Beautiful. So thanks for all the love, everybody. I appreciate you being here. So, Miriam, you're up. Oh. You've been meditating every day without fail. Yes, I love that. I love it. Oh, thank you, A. Are you like A from like Pretty Little Liars? Just kidding. I did watch that whole series, by the way, because I had to get through it. I was like, I just have to see how this ends. And it was just ridiculous. Hi, Shelly. Okay, Miriam. Oh my God, you guys, are you freaking kidding me? You can't make this shit up. Oh my God, are you kidding me? You cannot make this shit up. I'm not. What the heck, man? You still don't know who was A? Oh my God, this is insane. You guys are hearing me shuffle, right? You're hearing me shuffle. I shuffled these things like 5 times after the last one. This is literally the energy of this week. It's like releasing. Things are transforming. This week is going to be big for transformation. You guys just be prepared for it, because this card has come up, what, like 3 or 4 times now. This is literally a week that things are going to be released. I've been saying this for a while, that I felt like the month of the summer months, particularly June and July, were going to be big release months, and that's what this is saying. So there's going to be release. There's going to be a lot of transformation that's going to be happening this week. You just have to go with the flow. This is an end of a cycle. This is a 10, which reduces to a 1, new beginning. So as this transformation happens, go with the flow, observe what's happening, get a different perspective, and recognize that this is everything that's happening is what's meant to happen. And don't hold on to things too much. Don't be too, don't hold on to expectations. Just really be with that energy, okay? That's really beautiful. And a message, Miriam, from your divine. It's important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, now is the time to give to yourself. So really, really, really focus on you this week, okay? Take care of yourself. Eat healthy, get a massage, get a pedicure, whatever it is that you do that helps you take care of yourself, do that. That's what your divine wants you to do. The next one, Lydia. Okay, so we got Lydia. If those cards come out again, I might just literally fall out of the chair. Manifest. Healing begins. And teach. That card's come up a couple of times too. So definitely, for you, Lydia, this is about, let me look at your question. It says, is it coming back to you or with someone else? That's not necessarily. Okay, so here's what just came through. You manifest your own reality. If you want him to come back, you got to do your work. You've got to do the things that you want, because you are a powerful magician. You can create and manifest what it is that you want. So you've got to do your own work. You've got to work through your own stuff so that you can create that energy to manifest what it is that you want. Whether he's coming back to you or with somebody else, what this says to me right now is that there's this healing that has to happen. So he may be with somebody else right now, but that's because there's a healing that needs to happen. There are things that people can learn in karmic situations that they cannot learn in a divine situation, because divine love doesn't bring the same stuff that karmic situations bring. Divine love is non-manipulative. It's it's non-toxic. That's kind of funny. But there are certain lessons you will only learn in karmic situations. There are certain things that I could only have learned from my karmic situation. So I definitely feel like right now it's about focusing on the healing and finding the mentors and the community that you need so that you can step into your purpose, which I feel like is going to be somewhat of a teaching energy, that you're going to have to spend some time studying and becoming a master of something so that you can become a teacher of it. And then a message from your divine. The past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. That is definitely confirming this teach path. So go ahead and work with that energy. Work with manifesting what it is that you want. Allow the healing to happen, and move into that space where you can become the, learn what you need to learn so that you can become the master and then teach. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm going to write down everybody's name. For those of you that are asking questions, I'm going to pull one card. For those of you that gave you energy donation, I did a little bit further. So I've got, let's see. Okay, so right now this is, yes, I am a Virgo. Okay, so right now, anybody that has asked a question will get a card pulled, and that's it. So the last question that I'll be answering is the question that was asked about what the energy is for the karmic situation. So that's just because of time. I've got like, I think I have like 6 readings to get through today, and then I still have to do the karmic for the week. So I need to be mindful of my time. I don't normally do private readings on Sundays, but I want to take my kids to the amusement park tomorrow and completely disconnect, so I won't be doing any readings tomorrow. So, Aaron, message for you. Separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So if you're in a period of separation, it's just recognize the universe wants you to know that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing right now. Focus on yourself, focus on your healing, because that's what this separation is actually working to bring you closer together. So I'm going to shuffle again and pull a card for Alicia or Alicia. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that, but I hope that I got it right. Message for Alicia, Spirit. Keep an open mind, okay? If you you may be feeling some difficulty around this connection. Maybe you're like, this doesn't make sense. Maybe it's that your partner, your divine counterpart, is not in any way, shape, or form what you thought they might look like, okay? Sometimes people like their twins are, you know, same gender, same sex, and they're like, what the freak, man, like this is, I've never had this experience before. It's okay, keep an open mind. Spirit is saying like, this is gonna defy your expectations, this situation, just roll with it, okay? You don't have to have all the answers right now. I know that you guys are asking, those of you that have just asked for, I think it was Megan and Letitia, we just don't, like I'm out of, I wrote down the list of people who I would be able to pull cards for. Unfortunately, we're running close to the end of time, so I'm not going to be able to pull cards for you this time. I apologize. If you want to have a question answered, please feel free to reach out to me on Instant Go. So card for Michelle, please. Past life relationship. You've known each other before. You definitely get that energy. So this is what this is saying to me for you, Michelle, is that you are you've known each other before, you've done this past life before, and there is still some karmic energy from past lives that you're working through. There's also this recognition. So what I would suggest, if you haven't done it, is look into the Akashic Record readings and find out what those connections are. If you need someone that does Akashic Records, reach out to me privately and I can give you somebody's name that I work with here in Colorado. But she does do remote video or remote readings, and she's very, very good. But there is some past life connection that is present that you both are, I feel like if you get some more insight into that it will help you understand how to work through whatever issues are presenting in this life. Okay, you do? Awesome, cool, I'm so glad. Yay. Okay, Carla. Passionate purpose, you know what, when they do that, that's projection, okay? When someone does that, all you have to do is just say return to sender, you know, like Elvis, or was it Roy Orbison? Return to sender, address unknown. You don't have to accept that stuff. It's their projections, and that's their stuff to work through. Carla, message for you. New love, a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Okay, so this is definitely, what I'm getting for you is that that you may have actually met a soulmate connection that is that has kind of intrigued you. It's kind of sparked something in you, and you're like, ooh, this person is interesting. And you may be questioning, should I pursue that? Should I go in that direction? What Spirit is saying is totally fine. If you're in separation with your divine right now, it's totally fine for you to engage with the soulmate, and not a karmic, a soulmate, you know, someone that's going to elevate you and keep your energies high. Because that is something that it's good for you. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people feel like going and having like a connection with the soulmate is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, as long as it's a pure, unconditional kind of love, okay? So just stay in that space. If you haven't met somebody, you may meet somebody coming up soon that's going to stir these romantic feelings. If it if it freaks you out, it's okay. Just be, it's okay to receive love from wherever it comes. It's okay to have connections with people, even if it's not your twin flame, that provide love and provide fulfillment and let you learn how to receive and how to open your heart. Okay. Oh, you just went into separation this week? Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. Linkosa, if you feel like there are people that you go on a date and they stay away from you after the first date, I would say that there's probably some kind of energy that you're giving out that you may need to look into. Maybe you are giving off you don't want it to continue. You're welcome, Carla. It's my pleasure. So, Linda, message for you. Oh my gosh, seriously? Past life relationship, same thing. You guys are you know, and your counterpart to some extent knows that that this is a past life relationship. This one to me feels like you've done this a lot. Okay, you've done this a lot. This relationship has gone on for like eons, and there's a lot of deep love here. I'm really getting that there's a lot of deep love in this connection. Not that there's not in other connections, but that energy really came through with this, is that there is this passionate connection that has spanned time. And same with the other past life card, when this card came up before. If you can find the connection, if you can find what it is that you need to work through in this life, it'll help you transform that connection in different ways. I had an Akashic record reading around my connection, and understanding what lesson needed to be learned and what growth had to happen in this life really helped me understand how to move through the energies in my connection. So I hope that makes sense. Again, if you need to be connected with someone that can help you, let me know. So Tanya, release your ex. So Tanya, if you have any lingering energy to someone in your past, it's super important for you to release that. So this doesn't feel like to me like releasing your twin or anything like that. What this feels like is you have lingering energies from like karmic relationships or soulmates that are still present in your energy field. It's really important for you to release that, because some of that is blocking your twin from coming forward. So if you have an ex that you're still in contact with, that you're in communication with, if you're in if you still feel resentment or any kind of energy towards someone that you used to have a relationship with, it's really important for you to release that energy. What Spirit is saying is get into a salt bath, do a cord cutting meditation, and really release that energy and create that space inside of you for your twin to come forward. Separation can still have communication. Yes, it can. Limited communication, checking in every now and then, that still can, for sure. Separation to me is like not being in the same space, not occupying the same space. Sometimes it can be more extreme, like where you're just not in contact at all, or you're blocked on social media or whatever. Elise, keep an open mind. Same, God, this is crazy. This energy is so funny because it's like it just keeps coming through. So keep an open mind. So what this is feeling, it's funny how the energies are different from other people. What this is saying to me is that you're limiting what you're able to create and manifest by what you're thinking. So you've got to open your mind up and allow yourself to see things from a different perspective. This is kind of like the Hanged Man energy. Look at it differently, because your thoughts and your expectations are limiting your ability to see the depth and the breadth of this connection. And Spirit is saying, like, just open up a little bit, allow yourself to see things a little bit differently, and it will actually, shifting your perspective will actually blow things wide open for you, so you'll be able to understand and go into a much deeper connection. If you want to send him a message and it feels like you send him a message, then that's fine. But if you're expecting something like a response or a certain response, then you're still in that codependent energy. Only can, really what I would suggest is only reach out and connect when you don't have an expectation attached to it. What I'm getting from your energy right now is just that you have a lot of expectations and a lot of personal growth that you would benefit from doing, about turning that love that you feel internal and not putting so much pressure and expectation on what your counterpart is doing. Thank you, Letitia. I appreciate it. I love you guys. AD. Oh my gosh, again. Release your ex. So if you have energy from a past lover, this came through actually. This is actually for you. What I'm feeling is past life energy, that there's somebody that you're still connected to, a soulmate from a past life, and that energy is still lingering with you. So if you've been feeling like energies that you're like, this isn't my energy, and you're feeling it's not your twin's energy, what I'm getting is that it's definitely from a past life, or it's like an unconscious, collective unconscious connection that is really drawing from you and really pulling on you. And it's time for you to release that. So I would say doing a meditation around doing a meditation and going to any place that you've ever left your power, surrendered your power, and calling it back to you. And also cutting any cords from anybody that you're not meant to be with, or you're not meant to be connected. So do a cord cutting ceremony. And also send that energy back. So what I'm getting from this is like really saying to this other person that's drawing on your energy, that is in your energy field, is about kind of sending them a message, love and light, releasing them with love and light, and being like, whatever karma that is between us, whatever needs to happen, just release that and let that go. So do some work around that, because it doesn't feel like it's somebody that it might be somebody that you had a very brief connection with in this life, but because of the past life connection, they're really holding on to it, and it's kind of muddling up your energy. So you asked the question, what is going on with the karmic? I'm going to do the karmic reading, so that'll be coming up later this afternoon, but I'll go ahead and pull a couple of cards around that. Actually, I'm going to use this deck. I felt led to use this. I'm really digging this Mermaids deck lately. I don't know why. Sometimes I just feel drawn to different decks. So, Spirit, any messages around the karmic situation? Interesting. Morning affirmations, empowerment, and ready, set, go. So what I'm getting from this is that with the karmic situation, it feels like it's been very uncomfortable, and because it's been very uncomfortable, there's been a lot of, just forgive my language here, but it's just been fucked up. The karmic situation has been really fucked up for a while. And what it's driving them to do is get into this like more positive space where they're stepping into recognizing that they can create their own reality. So that they're working, and I'm saying this, I'm referring to the counterpart that's in a karmic situation, that the discomfort of the karma and the karmic relationship is forcing them to step into understanding things like saying their affirmations, stepping into their own empowerment. But now they're in this space, they're moving toward this space of getting ready to take a leap of faith and to move forward toward what they really want, instead of being stuck in this lower level energy that is no longer serving them. So that is it today, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate all of your love and your contributions and your comments and your energy exchanges. You guys are the best. So tune in probably in about another hour. The karmic relationship reading for this week will be posted. And I am so glad to be here with all of you. I just love this. I love this community. I love being here with you. And I'm feeling all the feels now. So if you want to reach out to me for a private reading, all of that will be in the description box. If you need to connect on Instant Go for a quick message, you can do that there as well. And otherwise, just I love you. Stay positive, stay strong. Recognize that everything that we're going through right now is working for the highest good of all those concerned, and that as we continue to evolve, it's like, you know, when the tide comes in, all the boats rise, guys. So we really need to allow this to happen and allow this to take place, because it's not just about us and our own connection. It's about shifting and raising the consciousness of humanity and making the world a better place. So I love you all so much. Thanks for being here. Again, feel free to reach out if you want a private reading, and just, you know, keep fighting the good fight. Alrighty, talk to you all soon. Bye.